Hi, Kingdom Builders. I'm Shaquita with Kingdom Wealth Ministries, bringing you this month's prophetic report to highlight prophecy unfolding before us and God's hand moving among us. On May 1st of 2025, Apostle Lanae Green released the prophetic word for the month of May, where she prophesied that she could see a huge victory and celebration coming to Latin America as a result of God's hand resting upon them. We see this prophecy unfolding in El Salvador, a Latin American country that was once known as the most dangerous in the world and has transformed into the safest country in North America with 0 civilian casualties. This is a country that at one point was not considered rich or technologically advanced, but now they're prosperous in both of these areas. Why? I'm glad you asked. Instead of turning to witchcraft, oils, and Santeria, the president of El Salvador turned to Jesus Christ and utilized the power of prayer. In one of his speeches, he states, and I quote, "We are achieving the impossible because we asked with faith for God to make our country a testimony of his glory on earth." In a past interview, the president of El Salvador has stated that both he and his team often pray for wisdom during their meetings because they don't know what else to do. He has also admitted that his entire security cabinet believes in God.
So we try to figure out what to do, and I basically said, well, we're looking into an impossible mission here. So we pray, and we.
You prayed in the meeting?
Yes, of course, several times. Yeah.
What did you pray for?
To the wisdom to win the war, to have. I thought at the time that we would have civilian casualties, so we prayed that the civilian casualties would be as low as possible. And we didn't have any civilian casualties.
And was everyone in the meeting comfortable with that?
Yes. All my security cabinet are believers. They all believe in God. We're a secular country, of course, but we all believe in God.
So we see the president of El Salvador leading his country with God at the center and through prayer, which has allowed God's grace to fall on them and transform their country. In that same video entitled Prophetic Word for May, which was released on May 1st, 2025, Apostle Quan prophesied that our former U.S. President Joe Biden would experience a mysterious illness, and she instructed us to keep him and his family lifted in prayer. 13 days later, on May 13th of 2025, CBS News released an article stating that a small nodule was found on Joe Biden's prostate, and this was later confirmed as stage 4 prostate cancer. So let's continue to keep our former U.S. President Joe Biden and his family lifted in prayer. The next video that I want to report on was released 2 years ago on February 7th of 2023 as a part of Apostle Quan's prophetic number series, and it is entitled Why You Keep Seeing 7-Eleven. In this video, Apostle prophesied that there are cycles of blessings and cycles of falling back into sin within the earth. She said that as God raises up a new generation of chosen people to send out, the enemy tries to counteract it by sending out his pawns. Apostle prophesied that God is using the prophetic number 7-Eleven to warn his people that the enemy knows God's plan, and his intent is to use these cycles to hinder God's people from receiving and or maintaining breakthrough by way of falling back into sin via cycles. We see this prophecy unfolding in the earth today, and one of the ways is through Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tours. This is a concert cycle, which is defined as a series of concerts that take place over a period of time, typically a season. So how is the enemy using this? Beyonce aligns herself with goddess Oshan, which is a deity or false god within the Yoruba religion that is also known as a water spirit and the goddess of love, fertility, sensuality, and beauty. She reveals this in her Lemonade video through visuals. She reveals it again in verse 3 of the lyrics to her song entitled Mood Forever, where she states in first person, she is Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. She is the Nala, sister of Neruba. Oshan, Queen Sheba. She is the mother. Additionally, Beyonce's brand has evolved into ancestor veneration. This is also known as ancestor worship and is practiced by honoring and respecting deceased ancestors, often with the belief that they still exist and they can influence the lives of their descendants. This reverence can manifest in various ways, including but not limited to ritual practice, which Beyonce achieves in her concerts on stage, and through gift giving, which Beyonce accomplishes by giving swag bags to her VIP members, who are also known as the Beehive. Some examples include the House of Darion, which was her clothing line named after her grandmother. Additionally, in her song Lemonade, she had her ancestors' voices playing in the background. Another example of the cycles that the enemy is using to pull God's people back into sin is the movie Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. According to the New York Times, the movie Sinners is considered a box office success, and it has the potential to be the start of a film cycle. So what is a film cycle? I'm glad you asked. Film cycles emerge when audiences respond overwhelmingly to certain movies and films. So you see this when people flood social media, sharing what they loved about a movie, convincing other people to go see it, and this then pushes the movie up in the charts. This drives other producers and filmmakers to recreate visuals and narrative elements from that initial film, in this case, Sinners, with the hopes of similar box office success. They're riding the wave of the first movie's success, and that is what is happening with the movie Sinners. Here's the problem. Sinners is a horror movie disguised as a story of redemption and forgiveness through the eyes of Michael B. Jordan, whose character is trying to make peace with his past and help save a generation from falling into the same trap that he did. It sounds convincing, right? The cunning storyline makes evil look safe, and it's intentional to reel in lukewarm Christians and those not guarding their gates, only to find themselves in the middle of a demonic ritual playing out on the TV screen. The film is filled with hoodoo, voodoo, and witchcraft, none of which believers in Jesus Christ should be partaking in. Let's dig deeper into how witchcraft is presented in this movie. For starters, Michael B. Jordan states in a red carpet interview that he identifies as a Babalawo. A Babalawo is a priest of Ifa, a deity of divination, and the father of mysteries within the Yoruba religion.
Michael B. Jordan, the B stands for Bakari, which means of noble promise.
Correct. You know your stuff. Okay.
All right. Who gave you that name, and how do you think it shaped the man you are today?
I'm a Babalawo, and my mom, when I was born, I got that name, fresh out the womb, and I just try to, live in that purpose, every day since.
During an interview, Michael B. Jordan admits that he immerses himself into witchcraft in order to embody each character that he plays.
And of course, he supplied the tools that I needed to start to prepare and prep for the role, from twin consultants of his friends, Noah and Logan Miller.
There's twin consultants?
Well, they're identical twins that became consultants. You know what I'm saying?
The creator of the film also admits that casting Michael B. Jordan as twins was intentional in order to honor the twin deity within the Yoruba religion.
Why twins?
Yeah, why twins?
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one.
If you know the history of foundational Black Americans, they come from West Africa. Look at the poster. It's a story primarily about Africans in America. In Nigeria, there is a deity, a twin deity in the Yoruba religion. It's a thing that we reckon with.
Additionally, hoodoo consultants were brought on set to help the co-star Wanmi Musaku, who played Annie, actually cast spells and conjure up spirits, all of which those watching the movie are taking part in.
We had a hoodoo consultant, and she helped me create a spell for the mojo bags and the prayer, the conjuring.
Your character uses voodoo, or some might call it judge, but when doing your research, what was craziest spell that you had seen that some people have partaken in order to keep their loved ones safe?
I went to the House of Hoodoo a lot. I saw, I got readings, I got the candles and the oils.
Yeah. The enemy's intent behind this movie is to normalize hoodoo, voodoo, and witchcraft, so much so that it becomes mainstream, causing God's people to fall back into sin. But I decree and declare that we are a people who will guard our gates. As followers of Jesus Christ, we must understand that the lessons we need are found in the Bible, and we must not seek them from people or movies that openly practice other religions and worship false gods. We are to come out from among them and live a life that is set apart. Please know that casual Christians will become casualties. This concludes the prophecy report. Thank you for tuning into this altar unto the Lord, where he is speaking and his hand is moving.